everybody? It's your man, Eric Wilson, alongside my man, the one, the only, as I call him, my brother from another mother, and I love him like no other, Lance LaRosa. Lance, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
So this is it, Week 2 ROE recap of the Eagles game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Lance, I can honestly say to you, I am not as heartbroken about this loss as I thought I might be. I just feel we have some internal struggles that need to get fixed now and not down the road.
I will agree that I'm not really yeah, we lost.
Right.
There were some issues with the game. One of the biggest things, and I know we're going to get into this a little later, but it was bugging the hell out of me. When you say internal issues, what you're talking about is not using the players that we have.
Yes.
There was one pass thrown to LeGarrette Blount, no rushing attempts.
Yeah.
The hell you used him for?
I don't understand that either. You bring this man over from New England, you know what he is primed and poised to do, yet you don't utilize him.
I expected to see nothing but a backfield of him and Sproles.
Yep.
With Smallwood put in when they got tired. Instead, we see Wendell Smallwood put up 3 rushing attempts for 4 yards, and Carson Wentz being the lead rusher on our team. Why is our quarterback the lead rusher? He ain't Mike Vick. Those years have passed.
He's not Mike Vick. He's not Randall Cunningham. He's not Donovan McNabb. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz should not be our leading rusher in a game against a high-powered, almost, in my opinion, complete team in the Kansas City Chiefs, especially going up against Justin Houston and that Kansas City defense. But
and then speaking of the Kansas City defense,
okay,
they know our weakness.
Yeah,
it's our rookie on the left side.
Yeah.
Every time you can swim past him.
Isaac Samuelson or Samuelo, something like that.
Samuelella, I can't say it right.
Right.
For me, I feel terrible about that, but I don't know what to say with that except holy crap, block someone.
But here's my thing about that. People are now questioning, did we get rid of Alan Barber too soon to put this kid in there? Because I'm looking at it the same way you are. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. When Lane Johnson came back last season, we were like, oh, great, we got an offensive line. We got an offensive line that can protect our quarterback. We went through last year with Big V, because I can't say his name, I ain't going to try. So we know what to expect. So now you put this guy in, and he's just basically doing the same thing that Big V did last year. At least put Big V back in there. Let him do something. He knows how to protect our quarterback. But I'm just like, why? This is not something that we need. We got a second-year quarterback who's got an arm, and yes, he can be mobile, but we need him to stand upright. And when you let an offensive lineman just let the defense run through, this is why Carson got sacked 6 times.
It's ridiculous because what it leads to is we have a high-powered offense that can get out there, that can get open, but if he's running and scrambling in the backfield, got sacked 6 times, they missed him a few times where he was just running away from the ball. The reason he had friggin' 55 yards running last week was because he was like, oh crap, this failed, go. That's ridiculous.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many wide receivers you get. It doesn't matter that, okay, yeah, you're right, we did not use Blount. We had Smallwood who got all of 4 yards all game. Darren Sproles was in for 48 yards with 10 attempts. But it doesn't matter who you're putting in there. To all these weapons, if you can't buy 3-4 seconds worth of time.
I agree with you.
You can't make the whole, there's nothing to be done.
And listen, the catch that everybody is talking about, it's been a top play on SportsCenter, was Carson, the interception that almost happened, but thank God Zach Ertz keeping his eye on the ball, who actually turned that into a beautiful play to march us down the field. But take nothing away from Carson, it was the fact that our offense was not doing what we expected them to do. So everybody's been asking me this question. Let me pose it to you. Do you feel like Doug Peterson should stop making the play? He should stop play calling. Should he turn the keys over to Frank Wright and let him, as the offensive coordinator, make the plays?
It's tricky. And here's what I get to this. I want to say yes, but I also, I understand that was his forte. That's what he loves. That's what he's in the game for.
Got it.
what I want to see is at least give some kind of game plan, and when it's not working, let your offensive coordinator, who's been working with these guys, who's been studying them, who's been seeing what's going on, step up and go, no, that's not working, I'm going to try this.
Right.
Give him a chance at least.
I agree with you, but my point is this. Doug Peterson, that's not your job anymore. You are no longer the offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs. You have now graduated to head coach. And when you do that, you need to allow these guys who are coming in underneath you to do their job. And so I personally feel like, you know what? We have something special right here with our team.
We do.
The 53-man roster that we currently have right now
If they can
is
stay
something, of course, always barring health and injury. But with the cast of characters that we have a legitimate shot to be successful, not only in our division, but in the entire NFL. And I feel like Doug Peterson, he still wants to keep some of that control. So for me, I'm saying let Frank Wright do his job. Yeah. This is what he's getting paid to do. You are the head coach. You should be the one, as Doug Peterson, that if things aren't working, then you step in and say, okay, let me take over because I know how to. I've been in this position.
Well, the only thing I go to this is I understand why he was play calling against the Chiefs, because he saw how they worked for years. He saw their defense. He figured he could just rip them apart, and it didn't work.
Right.
And maybe he didn't have, I don't know if he was too proud. He would just he couldn't go. You know what? Take over. Go ahead and take those calls. But I get why, as the head coach, he did it. And you know what? I don't blame him, because for me personally, if I was ever to be in football, that's what I want to do. I want to call plays. If I'm ever going to coach a game, I want to be the play caller.
Right.
You don't want to just be sitting there on the sidelines watching it happen around you. At that point, it's almost spectatorish. So I get the hands-on approach, but there has to be a bit more to it. Also, I do want to point, and to that, and this is a bit ridiculous, but I'd like to point out to everyone that I am wearing Donovan McNabb's number today in honor of the fact that Carson Wentz was looking like him out there. With all the running and everything else. I'm just bringing that up. I know it's a little side note, but I couldn't help myself.
Well, listen, speaking of that, I'm wearing my autism shirt because I know the Eagles have stepped up huge and created this autism challenge that they have going on. So I have this shirt in support of that. So, we want to show our love to our Philly town and to our city just as much as they show to us each and every week by going out there and doing what we love them to do. Now, I want to flip and actually talk something positive, because what I'm happy to see is, and I was a little nervous about this going into this season, but I'm happy to see that Carson and Alshon Jeffries, they're connecting more.
They're gelling.
They're gelling. Their chemistry is starting to evolve. And I think as time gets on, as long as we keep seeing this, they are going to be great. The combination of quarterback, wide receiver. I have to give him up to him again. Nelson Aguilar came through when we needed him to. So, You know what? It's about putting the person in the right position. Nelson Aguilar was not a wide receiver wide out. He was a slot receiver. That's how we need to keep utilizing him, because in doing so, he's going to be successful. Well, go ahead.
Well, and I want to jump into this, and this actually talks about some positive points of it. I don't mind the loss.
No.
Here's why I don't mind the loss. I don't mind the loss because there's Kansas City.
Yeah.
It leaves them hungry going into a game against the Giants, which they need to win against the Giants. I also don't mind the loss because you know who else lost this week?
Dallas.
Amen.
Couldn't happen to a nicer team. Couldn't happen to the only team in our division that won was Washington, and we don't even care about y'all. Congrats on your win. We moving on.
Exactly. We're still sitting number one in the division. Yep. I know at beginning of the year that kind of stuff doesn't matter, but you know what? It's division to me. I don't care. I mean, I care, but let's be honest. We're Eagles fans. We've seen the big game once.
Right.
It's
in our lifetime.
Yeah, in our lifetime. So for me, it's as long as I come up on top of the division every year, I'm happy.
No, I'm happy with it, but trust me, I want the ring just like everybody else.
I'd like to see it in my lifetime.
But I agree with you. I'm not that upset about this loss, because here's the thing. We never gave up, and I want to show some special love to our boy Trey Burton.
Oh, man.
Tipping that onside kick to give us the ball back with 5 seconds left, to give us the opportunity
to try to do something with
it. To get into overtime.
Well, not only that, man, he was really showing up.
Yeah.
He was making a difference out there, and it's nice to see, because this was if you go back to last year, this is a guy we talked about, this is a guy we want to see develop, and they're doing it. And it's amazing to see that, especially because what y'all may not know is we're sitting in Sarasota, Florida. He's from Venice, Florida, just down the road.
Yep.
Used to play high school ball there, so it's nice to see a local guy for us coming up to play for our team.
Exactly. I'm extremely happy about that. So our secondary, I have to show them a lot of love as well, stepping up huge amongst all the injuries. I was excited for that. I was happy to see that with them. But more importantly than that, our defensive line. I want to say thank you. Thank you. Because you know what? Even though the La Rosa theory did not come true this week, and I blame the NFL Network and Fox for saying that, oh, Carson is Mr. September because he hadn't lost in September until this Sunday. So thank you. I know, second year, they want to call him Mr. September. Really?
Right?
Thank you, NFL Network, for screwing our quarterback for that one. We really appreciate y'all for that one. Can't say what I want to say, but y'all know what I'm trying to tell y'all.
Dude, I'm happy with Mr. December. If he can,
don't
lose through December, I'll be happy with it.
Damn right. That's what I'm saying. But, all right, so...
Oh, and speaking to the 17-point theory,
yes.
Now, going back, there was a Facebook comment that I want to address, which was from Clarissa Smith.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull this up here because I promise if you comment on our videos, I will get to you. Now, the comment, and let me pull this up real fast, is, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Just holding your opponents to under 17 points may help take pressure off an underperforming offensive unit, but it won't be enough to make a competitive playoff bid. Now, I will say this. Alone, it's not. However, any team you can keep under 17 points, you will beat. We will beat them. Any other team will beat them. The New York Giants would do it.
Yep.
Hey, the New York Giants would do it maybe against the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 46. I'm just saying, as an example. Like, if the Giants can do it, I know the Eagles can do it.
Exactly. So. That's why the La Rosa theory holds true. We're going to end with that, just to let y'all know. Hey, thank y'all for chiming in. Make sure you tune in. We're here every week recapping the Eagles game. This is the ROE. Leave your comments on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm going to post this tonight. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.